What's the most NSFW thing you saw in public? A girl giving head to a guy, and then I'm pretty sure they had straight up Essex, while I watched Warcraft in a theater. The room was empty except for the three of us. And since I was in a dark, higher up corner, they didn't saw me when they entered. It was awkward when they saw me exiting the room at the end of the movie. You should have clapped when it was over. The movie or the Essex. Both would have been funny. Just the most obnoxious slow clap imaginable. With a maniacal look in your eyes. No blinking. Staring right at them as you catch their attention. I worked at a resort as a graveyard security guard. Trust me. In the busy season, I've seen damn near everything. Alcohol makes people do some crazy shit. But the most NSFW thing that happened consistently was people getting busy in the pool and or jacuzzi. It was more than just there. But those were the most popular places. It's like, first, we have cameras there. They aren't hidden. Don't do that. Second, kids are up and about a lot later than you'd think on vacation. If a kid were to walk by for any reason and see you, and their parents wanted to press charges, you are both now FX offenders. Congratulations. That actually happened more than once. And finally, the maintenance crew now, by law, has to disinfect the pool/jacuzzi, which I'm told entails draining it, scrubbing it and an acid bath. They do not appreciate the extra work. For some reason I didn't see the word resort and got really confused about why there was a pool and jacuzzi at a graveyard. I used to work at Starbucks and once had a young couple come through the drive-thru and she was giving the dude head with zero ducks about who saw. It was an awkward transaction for me. I saw a homeless man projectile defecate from his spot on the hood of one car all the way to the trunk of the car parked behind it. I was 2 cars behind someone who committed suicide by driving into the path of a train. I've seen bombs go off that didn't destroy a car as well as that train did. Heroin addict passed out in the middle of the road. Ambulance arrived and she started jacking off. Otherwise non-responsive. They gave her naloxone, immediate antidote, and she got up and slapped the paramedic. Unfortunately for him with the same hand, she stormed off somewhere else, only to have the naloxone wear off and pass out again. Don't do opioids for fun, kids. A hobo tacking his dong out in public transport. I was in a nightclub and there was this couple having sex in a corner. Security noticed. I will never forget the pair being wrenched apart. And the dude was just screaming at the bouncers with his trousers down and a raging boner. Hysterical shitty. I was on Bourbon Street the weekend before Halloween, like maybe 4 or 5 days before Halloween, but close enough to where people were in costume years ago and saw a guy dressed like SpongeBob get his balls licked in the middle of the street in exchange for beads by some drunk chick in a grass skirt and coconut bra, who licks on his pineapples under the sea. SpongeBob hot pants. 2 homeless people having sex on the sidewalk under a very crowded overpass. That was the only way to get on the highway. Guys working on power lines with a metal ladder. One of the dudes died. Ended up hanging from the lines for hours till they could get permission to shut off the power and pull him down. They tried to tie up a sheet to keep him covered, but it was a very windy day, so it kept coming loose. At one point the sheet ended up wrapped around him, so it was like a giant flag. A beggar pissing on a guy who was lying down reading a book. A pun video being aired on a jumbotron in the middle of a busy intersection in my central business district. Think PunHub gets a spot in the middle of Times Square. Drunk guy passed out on the side, walk with his dong out constantly pissing with 10 old women surrounding him in concern. I was walking home from Target yesterday, and ahead of me by about 50 yards/meters was a dude walking along. Same direction. Peeing. His pants were up. His stance was wide. And his stream was strong. When he was done, he tucked his business, zipped his pants, checked his shoes, and carried on his way. When I was a kid I was at a park in England. The type with slides and swings. A Middle Eastern looking woman, probably in her 30s, showed up with a couple of kids. Then she inexplicably defecated in the middle of the rubber floor, then promptly left. One of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. A homeless old man squatting over the edge of a small bridge and dropping turds into the creek below it. Like it was the most normal thing to be doing on a Saturday morning. This is a sad one. I had a really early work day. We are talking 5 AM. I had to stop off at supermarket for some stuff. I'm groggy, tired with my basket, and walk into a dead supermarket. I'm in my own world dreading the day. Turn into an island freeze. Right in front of me is an old lady completely stark naked aside a scarf, hat and boots. I honestly thought I'd entered the Twilight Zone. I put my basket down and legged it to customer service. Babbled words and pointed in the right direction. They found a blanket, covered her up, and took her to the staff area and warm her up. I had to wait for the police just to relay what had happened because this woman had no idea who or where she was. How she got there I have no clue. Turns out she had dementia. I hope she is safe in a home now or with family now. TLDR, dementia is a bitch. Not me but a waitress knew. She and her friends went to Vegas for her birthday. Walking back to their hotel late one night they saw a guy behind a woman holding her hair back while she puked. How sweet. Until they saw he was nuts deep into her and pounding at the same time. Homeless guy masturbating at a bus stop in broad daylight. It was on a major road too. Saw a homeless man get hit by a pickup truck going at least 50 miles per hour. Homeless man went at least 20-30 feet in the air. I stopped to render aid and his femoral head had punched through his lower abdomen, and he bled out right there with me in a matter of minutes. Not much I could do to help with the med bag I had with me. People at the firing range without eye or ear protection. Someone in Los Angeles in an alley pulling down their pants and taking a massive dump on the ground in broad daylight. I was with my family and there were a bunch of cars passing by. I was in such shock that I saw it come out of the person like it was in slow motion. Was one of the grossest things I saw in my life so far. When working a customer service gig, a mentally unwell man, there's a bit of a meth problem around here, came into our store, stripped down completely naked, and laid down on one of our mattresses. Thankfully my manager managed to calmly get the guy to leave, and probably broke a few rules by selling that mattress the next day. Can I hire that guy? Ahaha. Family vacation to the western part of the US. Landed in San Francisco. Got a rental car. Normal stuff. I was about 14 at the time, and had always heard that San Francisco could be, let's say, eccentric at times. Well, we'd been driving for about 10 to 15 minutes and there was a bike race / group comprising approximately 100 people, and none of them had a stitch of clothing on. Wildest thing I've ever seen. Full on sex in a public pool. Was there other people in the pool? We were on a school trip to the city, on the top of a double-decker coach. We barely had time to look out the window as the coach blared past the guy taking a piss in the middle of a zebra crossing. Was visiting Barcelona once, and loads of people were catching rays sitting on the steps of a large cathedral. Among them, a guy drinking from a bag of cans whilst completely naked. Fantastic tan on him, though. Classic Barcelona. On the first date with an ex, we walked out on a jetty late at night. Plenty of other people around. We get to the end, chat a bit, and then I realize I really need to go to the bathroom. So we start to head back. Halfway back, someone stops us and says there's a couple having sex further along the way. I'm desperate, so we keep going anyway. I figured that they were at least going to be discreet about it, but no. Two people butt as naked people having sex on a public jetty, with a ton of other people around. It's so hysterical that I start laughing, but I literally cannot wait. So I just step over them as they are going at it. My ex follows behind me and just tells them to have a good night. Best effing first date ever. I dare anyone to take me on a better one. That night is engraved on my memory. Saw a girl lift up her skirt and then sit on her boyfriend's face in Central Park. I'm not from New York but something tells me this isn't necessarily a rare occurrence. No one really seemed to notice. A guy fingering his girlfriend in front of her family on the Disney monorail from Epcot to the Polynesian. I worked at a resort when I was younger. There was a big hot tub that was known for NSFW activity at night. We had to put CCTV cameras up with signs warning that the area was under surveillance, but it had zero effect on people. Every couple of weeks there'd be some girl mounting a guy while looking straight at the camera. They always had a look on their face, like if I move slowly then no one will notice. We noticed. I saw a dog penis and was scarred for life because it looked like a tube of raw beef. It was really weird though. I was a truck driver, so on the highway I would always see people doing things they shouldn't. Mostly people on phones or picking their nose. But one time a convertible is driving next to me. I look down and this old dude is getting a blowjob while going 100 km/h up the highway. He looks, notices me, gives a thumbs up and speeds off. Worked at a wireless store back in college. Slow morning so we're all just standing around doing nothing. Shitty pickup with a guy and girl pulls up and girl gets out and comes in to pay her bill cash. She goes back to truck and immediately starts giving him head. We can all clearly see her head bobbing up and down. Dude makes eye contact with us and gives us a thumbs up. Meth. Saw a guy getting head in his car in a parking lot. In New York City homeless dudes just be jacking off in the middle of crosswalks and shitty regularly. Not even an uncommon thing. I was walking down the street by a bus stop when a convertible pulled over really hard and the driver started orgasming right there while his boyfriend was giving him head. Right then, the bus came and couldn't pull over because the convertible was there. So it stopped on its side. Everybody on the bus could see what was happening from a privileged vantage point. The strangest thing was that no one, not one person, seemed to notice or mind what was going on besides me. I stopped and saw the whole thing and have to say that the guys in the car were thrilled of having an audience of one. When I was 13 I was at a water park with a summer camp and one of my friends wanted to have a ton on water splashed on her by that big bucket at every water park. So I went with her. She sat down and the water washed over her. I noticed her breasts had slipped from her swimsuit. She fixed herself and I successfully acted as if nothing happened. I also saw a girl changing in a parking lot when I was like 5. So that too. A homeless woman shave her vagina. The aftermath of a cyclist being ran over by a lorry. All you could see were his legs sticking out from the tires. Not a pretty sight. Saw this on the way to work with my aunt. My mum called me early that day to see how I was doing and I lied and said everything was fine. In reality I was really freaked out. Seconds after she hung up I heard my aunt's phone ring in her office. A few moments later your mum knows something is up. You better call her and explain. Called my mum. Told her what happened. Felt a lot better. Mums know when you're lying to them. Like this video and this good boy will be your mailman forever. We are Redditation and we redditate every day. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. Until then, check another video. Or don't. Either way, have a wonderful day you magnificent people.